Testing, ring the bell, testing. Is that really off the whole time?
Yeah.
Guess we're starting over, Tyler. And welcome to the first episode of the Ring the Bell podcast, 2020, right here on Insane Games TV. The first mistake...
I saw that blinking the whole time, and I was like, I really hope that means that it's on.
The first mistake
I guess it really means that it's off.
It's the first live mistake. I forgot to turn the mic on for the 2020. Ring the Bell, Tyler and Dan here for episode 5. First stream, first podcast on the network for 2020. A big year planned.
Hey, Steve, write that down in the notes. We'll have bloopers come December, and that could be the first segment of the bloopers for Insane Games TV.
Okay. There you go. Hey, Steve, move the camera just a little bit to my way. Just a little bit. Keep going. A little back. Yeah. No, other way. Right there. Alright, so, there we go. Ring the bell. Got a lot to go over here tonight. Expectations for 2020. Best stories for 2019. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of the AEW launch, so we'll talk about what they've done over the last year and their impact on wrestling. And we'll go over some news and highlights from this week. And we're going to dive right into the hot takes now. So I'll say it again. I liked it when it first came out. I thought it was an interesting concept, but the 24/7 title, when it came out, we all kind of had this expectation, okay, they're coming out with a new title, what could it be? And I was kind of really hoping for the relaunch of the hardcore title, which brought some great moments in WWE and some great moments in wrestling and some of that hardcore action that I think is missing in the product today. But instead they came out with this 24/7 concept, which I thought was interesting at first. And it was like, okay, this could be good, and this could be something interesting to watch. And now it's turned into this Santa Claus is getting the title on Christmas Eve. You have random people getting it, NASCAR drivers getting it. We have the same wrestlers over and over and over again getting the title. It's turned into, in my opinion,
legends getting it.
Right. I don't even mind the legends getting it because it's a good, it's a decent publicity stunt. But the fact of the matter is, you have people that just shouldn't be there. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to watch Kyle Busch from NASCAR. You know I am a NASCAR fan. I don't want to see Kyle Busch from NASCAR.
Is it because you don't like him, or is it because it's not Jeff Gordon?
Well, it's not Jeff Gordon. How can you even... that's even a question? Ever since Jeff Gordon left,
Well, I think Jeff Gordon's too, like, small to pin anybody.
Don't mind my butting in. Didn't the ladder win the title at one point?
Probably Steve won the title at one point. He doesn't even know about it. You know, anyone could have won that title. It's getting to the point now where let's just give it to the first person standing in the wing. You know, it's crazy.
The wing.
The ring. You know, it's a title that should be used better and should be used for more interesting concepts. Not a publicity stunt to promote whatever movie that's out or whatever sport has something going on or whatever the case may be. It's a title that deserves a little bit more, in my opinion, some time and some interest. I think it does.
Does it?
I think it does.
I don't know. The one thing that bothers me about the 24/7 championship is you remember back in the day with the hardcore, because it's very similar to that. They would actually have actual matches with it, and I think they've only had like one or two, and they just don't ever have actual matches, which I think takes away from the whole thing of it being a championship title. You know, you don't even make the time, which is exactly what you're saying. They don't even make the time to have a single match with the title.
No.
Instead, they just have these guys running around in between Charlotte Flair and Asuka match, or another match. But I don't know. I think I agree. I wish they would just like kind of make it an actual title with actual matches. But
I just think, I understand. I get having the point where you have your own match and you do, the real matches, but I get the fact that they want to make it such a unique title, you don't know what's going on. Like when the hardcore title became a 24/7 that could be defended anytime, I thought that was great. Anyone could walk,
right.
It added interest to the belt. So I like the 24/7, anything can happen. They're just ruining it with the people that just should not be getting the title and should not be doing stuff
right.
related to WWE in the ring. I mean, Kyle Busch should not be. Hang on. I'm actually going to look up right now all the 24/7 winners. Because I should have done that already. 24 title. And I want to see all the people that have had the belt already. Do you even know who the title holder is right now?
I'm pretty sure it's R-Truth. He won it back.
Do you know how many times it's been... you know how many different champions have been the champion? Can you guess?
I would say over 35.
83 times the title. The title has changed champions. This does include people winning multiple times, but 83
Oh, well,
times.
they also do the title changes on like house shows too.
Oh, I know.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, they did one last night on
Like,
Christmas
on days
and
where
New Year's Eve.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
On days that they don't have live tapings, I know that they change title hands too sometimes. So, I mean, shit, that one time when there was like, I forget what it was. I think it was like Raw 1000 or something like. No, it was like something 1000 episode or something like that. They had like 20 different people win it just that night.
Right. Yeah. R-Truth has had it 30 times.
Oh, actually, it was the one that I went to in Tampa. It was the anniversary.
R-Truth has had a combined 30 reigns. Drake Maverick 6. Jake the Snake.
Can you see me or
No, but
Jake the Snake Troop?
Yeah, if you yell in, he'll see you.
Jake!
What's up, dude?
Come over here. He'll see you right there.
What up, big
How
man?
you doing, buddy?
Good, how are you?
Oh, living the dream.
That's good to hear. You look good, my friend.
Thank you, buddy. How have you been?
Can't complain, can't complain.
Good to hear.
How's school? Good?
I should have my master's this coming semester, and then I've got another.
Congrats.
Forever. Yeah, thank you. It sucks. But
What do you mean it sucks?
I hate
You're
it.
on camera, so don't say anything you don't want to say.
Wait, are your parents still in Florida?
Yeah, they're going to Alabama though.
Nice. Oh, they're moving to Alabama? Why?
My dad works at a plant out there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Alabama football.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, we'll have fun out there. It'll be nice to visit. It's too cold.
Yeah.
Here for me. It's winter. I think it was we were at like -10 the other day in Potsdam. That was fun.
Yee! At least it's been 35 up here. Or over here.
It's been 72 down here. Can't complain.
Get out of here. Alright, we gotta get back to it. Okay, Jake, see you later.
Nice seeing you, Jake.
So we got 83 different title holders. I mean, they might be hiding the real people here. Like, where's Kyle Busch? I just won it. Oh, Kyle Busch. I don't even know who these other people
Santa.
are. WWE Employee Town Hall. It's just like, it's a bad title. They're ruining it, having random people win it, and it's the same thing. But that's my hot take.
I mean, I think the whole point of it is to be used as like a comic relief. You know,
oh, right, I
that's
get that.
pretty much the whole entire purpose of it. And you know, sometimes it's funny, and then other times it's corny. So I guess you get the good with the bad with that one.
Do you remember who the first ever 24/7 champion was?
I think it was R-Truth.
No, Titus O'Neil. Machine.
Oh, that's right.
Robert Roode, then R-Truth. Yep.
I do remember that.
Alright, so that's my first hot take for 2020. Much more to come for this year. What do you got, Tyler?
Well, I'm gonna go right off from watching SmackDown today. I think the biggest thing that they need to do in 2020 is push Braun Strowman to the moon and finally put a title on him. And by title, I mean Universal or heavyweight championship title on him. I think he's too talented, you know, on the mic, in the ring. He's too big to not even have a championship on him or even contending him. You know, the past few weeks is like the first time I've seen him on camera actually doing anything on SmackDown, and I just think he's being not used properly. His talents are being wasted. You know, at first when he was a singles competitor, he was, you know, this guy that everybody was afraid of, and you know, now he's they're not doing anything with him, and it sucks because he's one of the best on the roster for SmackDown, and he's not being used.
Right.
Not only in ring, but on the mic. And you know, I think especially if you did, like, imagine this, Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman, you could easily do an angle with them, you know, with their past history together, and do an angle where like Braun Strowman is being manipulated by the old Bray Wyatt and then the new Bray Wyatt, and then they can do something with that. And I think it would still be a great match because you have the supernatural powers of The Fiend going up against the raw strength of Braun Strowman. You know, as Dan would say, if I was a writer in WWE, I feel like that would be a great match. Whether it be at, like, Hell in a Cell or, you know, something like an eerie kind of pay-per-view or even WrestleMania.
Right. Yeah, I feel like he's been a little underutilized. I think I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting in him as a single competitor, you know. But I definitely think they could utilize him better. I mean, put him in some title matches. Do some different things with him. You know, put him with a tag team partner. You know, do some different stuff.
That's the last thing I think they should do is put him with a tag team partner.
Sometimes they get stale. That helps a little bit. If the product, if that particular wrestler's product is getting stale, you know, sometimes it kind of gets them fired up, and they can come up with something different with a new tag. But I get what you're saying. You know, to go from one, you know, yeah, I get what you're saying. Thoughts on the Lars Sullivan scandal? That comment in chat. I heard. I heard a little bit about it. He got. I guess someone.
I read everything about it.
Why don't you lead off with it? Why don't you answer? Because I heard a little bit about it. I haven't really looked into it. I just kind of read some things from his past got drawn up.
Well, I mean, are we talking about him being a adult film star?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk
yeah, I mean,
PG, by the way.
Yeah. So I saw this on like an ad saying that Lars Sullivan, like WWE execs are shocked or something at Lars Sullivan's past history, and I was like, what the heck? So, I mean, you see this big bald dude, you're like, well, there's only a certain amount of things that he could be besides, adult film star, Hitman, he could be Hitman.
Good. He can fill out for the
But
role.
I read it, and I saw that he was an adult film star, I'm like, wait, I didn't even know that this guy was an adult film star, and I find myself a connoisseur of that industry. But I read that and I thought it was hilarious. Did WWE come out with anything against it or saying something about it, or are they going to bury him
they've
or
released
fire
a
him?
statement on it. I don't think it's been. I think they just have been mute. But they had a bunch of plans for him, and I mean, last time I knew he was getting a big push. He was Vince McMahon.
Well, he was coming back from injury, right?
Right. But they plan, like Vince has been a big fan of him. I'm just kind of looking right now to see if they've had anything. I don't see any news or updates. I guess they canceled some matches maybe that he was in. Yeah, so they canceled some plans for him, but it doesn't look like they really have announced anything. But can they really? Are they really going to fire him over that? I mean, we've seen a lot of other scandals in WWE that's never been addressed. I mean, so I don't really know. What is there to announce? If they comment on it, they have to recognize that it's the truth.
Right.
I mean, they
I
may
feel
just
like
hope
they
it
probably already
disappears.
knew, because I feel like you have to go through like a pretty heavy background check to get into WWE. I mean, I feel like, at least.
I wouldn't want to be his road agent.
I'm almost positive I feel like I've read somewhere that there's been other superstars that have done that in the past as well too.
Oh, there's been probably some far worse stuff. I can think of
or
a
have
few.
gone hand in hand with it, especially after the fact of wrestling. So I would say there's a direct correlation between WWE/wrestling and the adult film industry. So.
Yeah, someone from chat, I read he had homophobic comments on social media. Yes, I did read that, but I don't want to get into that. But he did have, I think he had some comments on there about that. That's a whole nother.
Not shocked.
Yeah, that's a whole nother can
I'm
of
almost
worms.
sure about 95% of the whole entire locker room has had that on social media and tried to delete it or stuff like that too.
But yeah, so that's some stuff, comments from chat. Getting into the news for what's going on this week in wrestling. We just got done with Raw and we had the big wedding angle. Shocker, did not see that one coming at the end when Morgan came out and threw out that little curveball. That's a storyline. You know what? I'll give them credit. You're up to date on Raw, right?
Right.
I did not expect that little curveball to come out. So they're gonna go down that little.
I thought it was corny. I mean, didn't they do this like when Lana first got introduced, where they had like this little love triangle between Rusev, her, and Summer Rae? Like,
I thought I read that they've never
just
done
never a lesbian.
They've never done a lesbian angle before, so I don't think it's ever been done. And honestly, I think it's quite interesting. I think it's something that you've never seen it before, and in this world of wrestling where people don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again, try it. I don't know, try it. I mean,
you have seen it. You have seen it with two guys though, Billy and Chuck.
Didn't Fandango
One of
and
the
the other
best
guy
tag
have
teams
one?
ever. They kind of flirted with it, I would say.
Then they kind of did.
They blurred the lines.
Who's the other guy? Fandango and I want to say Billy, but it's not Billy.
Fandango and Tyler Breeze.
Yes, Tyler Breeze.
They're on NXT now.
Well, Fandango's injured. He's out. So he got
Again?
He's out. I think I read that he tore.
They were
something.
just on like 2 weeks ago.
Was he? Then I think it just happened. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I'm fact checking.
Dude always gets injured. He's like 36, by the way. So, maybe it's time for him to hang up the old boots.
No, maybe he's back. Or maybe he's back. Maybe something I read was older, but I haven't seen him. I haven't really watched much of what he's been up to. So he could very well be back on TV. But yeah, I thought they had a little stint of that for a while. But back to what I was saying, the angle for the wedding, I thought it was an interesting turn. And obviously people agree, as much as you shit talked it before and how you didn't like it. And it seems like the critics online don't like it. But it did draw in 2.4 million views, the highest Raw rating since August. Now one could say yes, Monday Night Football is over with. That probably contributed to other higher ratings, which it probably did. But it drew in 2.4, and they released the highlights on YouTube. And the moment Morgan came out and interrupted, it got 3 million views on YouTube already. And the point where Lana is having a meltdown after Raw has attracted 2.5 million. And I guess it ranks in the top 10 of YouTube views videos of WWE. So there's obviously some interest in this storyline. And
I don't know how. I mean, the only interesting part to me is the whole Rusev part and his whole character as a whole. I mean, if it were up to me, this whole thing would have been scrapped like 4 weeks ago.
It could be,
obviously, I've been saying this since day one.
Maybe it's a good Paul Heyman storyline, I mean, you have to wonder who's behind it.
We've seen it. That's the thing, though. We've seen. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen the lesbian angle, but I mean, we've seen it in. What's going to happen now? Rusev and Liv Morgan are going to team up with each other and have a match with Bobby Lashley and Lana, and it's probably going to be the worst match in history of WWE.
So
Lana doesn't. She can't wrestle. Liv Morgan, I mean, she's going to be having to do all the work for her. Bobby Lashley, I mean, and Rusev have decent matches, but like. What's the end game for this? Is my question. What's the best thing that's going to come from
the end game is you have 4 different people that are 4 people on the roster that all need a storyline. You have 3 of them that are apparently lovers with the 4th, and I mean it's drama, and that's what it. I mean.
So how long is this going to go? How long do you think this is going to go? Till the next pay-per-view, or is it going to be done?
I think it can go a while. I think are you going to see a women's match out of it? Are you going to see Morgan versus Lana?
I'm pretty sure they buried Lana in the whole wrestling aspect after seeing what she's capable of in the ring.
Then why put Morgan in the storyline if she's not going to wrestle?
Because they needed to do something with her. Because she's coming back. They had all these advertisements of her changing her look and maturing as a person, and they obviously need to throw her into something. So I mean, yeah, I think it's creative what they did. Something that's never been done. I think that's great. All I'm saying is that what's the end game of this?
Right. The end game is, I'm guessing, to try to put Lana over, which they've been trying to do for a long time. And they just can't seem to do it. She's awful on the mic. As you said, she's awful in the ring. I mean, Bobby Lashley, come on. You can't think of anything better for Bobby Lashley to do. But you know what? Here we are criticizing it. It's drawing in ratings, and it's drawing in people watching on YouTube. So obviously it's doing... I mean, Vince, he's in the business of getting ratings, so... I mean, obviously.
Right. I mean, I get that. It's just I don't know. I will always, until the cows come home, think this is probably the stupidest story of 2019. I would say.
I can agree with that. I would give you that, but it's. I mean, if the ratings are there, they're there. Like I said, I don't know where this storyline goes. Let's throw in a 5th person. Let's bring someone else from the back out. I mean, let's just keep adding more and more people into it. Because that's where it's going. I mean, I guess Rusev needed a partner. So maybe you could argue Morgan is going to partner with Rusev, obviously. And it makes it a little 2v2 now instead of 1v2.
For good, you think? Or for just the storyline?
No.
Because if he's partnering with Liv Morgan for the rest of eternity, I think that's going to be dumb.
The idea I got is
just needs to be...
she's a lesbian, so she's not going to be. It won't be a love interest of Rusev. It would be more like a manager. So I don't.
Maybe she's bisexual. Maybe she likes men too, Dan.
That's getting too further into the storyline that we need to get into. Interesting note, and also in the news, Roman Reigns has only had 1 title shot in 2019. Did you know that? I didn't know that.
He deserves.
I call it a cool-off period. I think everyone needed a little bit of a break of Roman Reigns. And I take it he'll probably out for the first 4 months of the 2019. Came back, had some rivals, some team rivals. I think people needed a break of Roman Reigns from the title picture. I think we've got it. He had. Do you know what? Can you guess what his 1 title match was? For what title and who?
Was it the Intercontinental title?
It was indeed.
Versus. I don't know.
Nakamura.
I know it was the Intercontinental.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, Shinsuke. I knew it was Intercontinental, though.
It was. Well, because, you had Seth Rollins in one and Brock Lesnar with the other and Kofi Kingston with the other, so they weren't going to take either one of them away. and they weren't going to spoil Roman Reigns, so that's why he never got a real title picture.
Yeah. I think what they should do with Roman Reigns is have 2020 be the year where he just gets shit on, and then and by that what I mean is he like has a bunch of title matches or opportunities and just has all this like adversity go against him, and then they come back in 2021 and he's back on top. Because by then Brock Lesnar hopefully is gone, doesn't have a title, and you have a great storyline leading up to WrestleMania, not this upcoming one, but the following one, where Roman Reigns, you show. I'm just picturing it now. The little ad that they do, the promo, where you have all these times where Roman Reigns was just this close, that close to winning that title, that close to winning the Royal Rumble, that close to winning this, that close to winning that, and then finally you have him win at WrestleMania, one of the best WrestleMania moments for Roman Reigns' career. I should be a writer for WWE, honestly. I mean, I feel like I'm just coming up with all these great ideas and nobody just wants to listen. What is that face, first off?
So you expect Roman Reigns to be out of the picture again for a whole nother year?
I mean, he was technically only out of the picture for like 6 to 8 months.
WWE is going to bench Roman Reigns for 2 years?
You got to think long term here, Dan. This is big
I'm
picture.
thinking long
This is
term.
macro. You set him up where he loses for a year straight. You know, he wins some matches. He doesn't get any. He doesn't win any titles though. That's the biggest thing. The payoff at the end is huge because at the next WrestleMania, not the one in Tampa this year, but the next one, he wins the title, and they're just showing how much adversity he's been through, and finally he wins. That's all I'm saying. I think it's a great idea. I think they should do it because what they'll do in that time is they'll push other superstars and still, have Roman Reigns.
I get that, but we're in a time of no Cena. We're in a time of no Rock, no any major superstar that's taken the reins of WWE, and you want to bench Roman Reigns for another year?
I'm not benching him. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying.
He doesn't win a title.
I don't think he can. I don't think you can not give him a title in 2020.
I think you could, honestly. You put him in all the he wins important matches to get into the important ones, and then say stuff happens like he gets screwed out of winning the Royal Rumble, or gets screwed out of winning a title shot match.
But we've been down that road.
That's all I'm saying.
We're done with that. We've been down that road for 2000. They can't. I don't think they can do it for a whole nother year. He's wrestled any other person without the title as much as he can. I think they purposely avoided the title all year long, which I think is a great strategy. But I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble in 2020. Could be his year, and he's going to be at WrestleMania, and he's going to win the title, and he's going to have the title the second half of 2020. That's what's coming. Read it right there, folks.
I'm not trying to predict any people. I'm just giving ideas and speaking them into existence of what the WWE should do with Roman Reigns, because the guy has already gone through adversity, right? He had leukemia, he battled it, he beat it. Put him through a little bit more in the ring is what I'm saying, and then have it pay off big picture. That's all I'm saying.
My point is, we're at the point now where he's already had a year off. They need to put him in. I think he's going to be the Royal Rumble winner. He's winning the Royal Rumble. Mark that down now. Dan Fact just said he's going to win the Royal Rumble, and he's going to be on to WrestleMania, and he's going to win the title. And that's what it's going to be.
I mean, I would love to disagree with you, but I know that's what's going to happen.
I get what you're saying.
I'm just giving you an idea.
I get what you're saying, and I think it was right to take him out of the title picture for a whole year. He just needed to be out. Let him get some other storylines. Let other people get a break and get some. But the problem with that is, if you're trying to give the title to someone else, you gave it back to Brock Lesnar. You gave it back to Brock Lesnar. You gave the title.
I feel like that's the last person that they should give the title to at this point.
You might as well give it to Roman Reigns.
Granted he draws attractions because he's not always at the shows, but it just goes back to what we were saying a long time ago about Brock Lesnar. It makes the title stale. And the problem is now WWE on Raw at least, they don't have a single person that has a title that's relevant. There's no
Right.
title that's like being shown.
No, I agree.
I mean, the Intercontinental title is stale. I mean, really, the only title that's being shown is the 24/7 championship, and that has no relevancy.
No, I agree. I agree 100% with you. I don't think this is a whole other discussion of the Raw title and just not being there. I mean, I like Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar is great with the title. I just don't like the fact that he's not there. I really, I love him. I love when he's a champion, but I also don't think anyone's reached up and grabbed that ring to be the title either. I don't know. There's like 3 guys that deserve to be the title. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. No, I'm gonna say 5. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns is a title holder. Samoa Joe is deserving of the title. Okay, Bray Wyatt, I like the title of Bray Wyatt. And I would say before he went...
Are you saying Raw or just in general?
Everyone.
Roman Reigns... Yeah, but Roman Reigns is on SmackDown.
I get that. I'm just saying for any
Brock
title.
Lesnar only facing guys on Raw.
What I'm saying is there's 5 people that deserve to have one of the titles. That's what I'm saying. Across the entire industry. And I would say Finn Balor, but he's now over at NXT doing what I thought is even better than going for the title. I think they're doing a phenomenal job with Finn Balor on NXT. Perfect. And we've already talked about this, but I was told he wanted to do that, and I think that was great. I think.
And what are you saying?
What?
Wanted to do what?
Finn Balor was the one that approached WWE about going to NXT. He saw the writing on the wall that he could be one of the main guys in this feud with AEW in the Wednesday Night Wars, and that further developing his name and putting him on the spotlight. Yeah, he can continue being on Raw or SmackDown and getting buried in the talent like he was, or he went over to a smaller brand and people are talking about him, and he has better storylines, better writing, better views, I think it's a much better place for Finn Balor on NXT. Even though I think he deserves to be on Raw or SmackDown.
I think NXT, and I said this before, is the superior brand when it comes to authentic wrestling or wrestling that I enjoy watching, at least, where the storylines matter, where the wrestling is exciting, and where they continue to have the storylines week by week. I feel like sometimes Raw and SmackDown kind of lose their storylines because not only do they probably have way too many wrestlers for their roster, but also I don't think the writing is up to par.
No, I agree. All right, moving on in the news. I'm gonna say it wrong. I was pre-saying it before the podcast. I know we get wrong. Andrade, did I say it right?
Hey, there you go.
I got it.
First time.
Andrade and Charlotte Flair got engaged the other night, so congratulations to them. Do you feel like WWE likes all the romantic wrestlers, getting married?
I mean, it's been going on for so long.
But not recent. I would say the last decade. It's happened over the last...
What?
Okay, you go back to the Attitude Era. Was there that many people get engaged and married wrestlers backstage? Besides Stephanie and Triple H? Who?
Stone Cold and Deborah.
I knew you were going to say that one, so I gave you a cushion. So keep going, one more. There was none.
What?
I said I knew you were going to say that.
Goldust and Terry Runnels, the King and the cat, or whatever the hell her name was.
The cat. It's the cat!
Puppies!
The cat!
China and Triple H for a small
really
time. X-Pac in China. There was a few.
X-Pac in China.
There was all I'm saying is there was a few.
But either way, they're becoming more and more. A backstage thing. I'm sure WWE has. I don't know. I don't think they really enjoy it. I mean, we had the Bellas and John Cena and Daniel Bryan. You have Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, Andre and Charlotte Flair.
Andre.
I knew I could.
Zelina Vega and Aleister Black. I bet you didn't know that one.
You have one of the Usos and who's the one with all the
Naomi?
lights? Shit, what's the one that?
Naomi,
yes, and I forget what is it, Jimmy? It's
I
one
don't
of
know.
them.
I can't tell the difference between them.
No, it's one of the
I think it is
Usos. You know, and you have, you know, you just got a bunch of them. You got
Sable and Brock Lesnar. Forgot about that one.
Xavier Woods and Paige. Whoa! Off limits. I should have said that. Off limits. All right. Moving on to.
I told you that WWE/wrestling has a direct correlation with the adult industry. That's all I'm saying. It's not like we're just trying to force it. It's just factual information.
Monday Night Raw. WWE announced a lot of stuff going on for Monday Night Raw. They're coming out with the fireworks for the first episode of 2020. Brock Lesnar is going to be in the house. We got a U.S. title match between Rey Mysterio, and Andre.
I don't know why you said it like that.
I don't know why. So those guys are fighting for the U.S. Title. Brock Lesnar is going to be there. And what was the other thing that they announced for Raw? They announced another big. I can't think of the other big. You don't remember what else they announced?
There was a tag team fight.
Now I gotta look it up.
The three-way, and then there was a women's championship, I think.
Yeah, Becky Lynch and Asuka. So there's a big Raw planned for the first Raw of 2020 next Monday. So, you know, now that they got a nice little ratings push with Monday Night Raw being over with, let's see how their ratings turn out.
Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football being done. Let's see how the ratings come out. Speaking of Raw, did you like that little storyline with Randy Orton playing the injured card?
I did. I thought that was very. I thought that was a very good angle that they did there.
I did.
Well, and I'll tell you why I think it was a good, because they also did the. I think it was smart because they also did the Rey Mysterio losing the belt to Andrade at a house show, and then they do the Randy Orton at the house show getting injured. I thought that was pretty interesting that they had some news from the house show making that whole house show relevant. And no, but I thought it was hilarious that he did the fake injury in order to just RKO AJ Styles. But
right. No, I thought it was an interesting. It's one of those, you know, in the industry where everyone thinks everything is either kayfabe or real. You know, you gotta throw out those wild cards every once in a while. And people legitimately thought he got injured at the house show, and it was reported. And they sent out
name dropped Edge.
Yeah, they did.
Did that on purpose too.
All the rumors went out that Randy Orton was injured. What's gonna happen? And shocker, behold, he wasn't really injured. I like those wild cards they throw out every once in a while. Okay, that's the first.
It keeps it fresh, keeps it interesting, which is nice because, you know, we've gone through years of wrestling where it's been pretty freaking stale. So
I know they got to keep it fresh, and I think it's great. All right, that's the first 45 minutes of the Ring the Bell. We just got done with news and hot takes. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back to go over the expectations for 2020, the best stories of 2019, and we are celebrating the 1 year of the announcement that AEW was launching. So we'll go over what we thought. Are we disappointed, happy, what's going on with that for the first year? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back for the last 15 minutes here of the Ring the Bell, closing out our first episode of 2020. We're live on Insane Games TV. Make sure if you didn't catch it this weekend, we had our Modern Warfare tournament, and what an experience that was. Real quick to talk about that. You know, we had a great commentating team. We had Steve behind the scenes. We had Mike behind the scenes. So it was a great event. We had a consistent amount of viewers for 8 hours. Can you imagine doing commentary for 8? We talk about Raw. We talk about The King and Michael Cole. Can you imagine doing commentary for 8 hours?
I mean, I could.
Well, yeah. But either way, what I'm saying is, none of us expected the tournament to go that long. So future content, we have the Modern Warfare tournament we just had this weekend. We'll be hitting our YouTube channel in the coming days. So make sure you check out that. If not, you can watch on our Twitch channel library right now. If you're watching us now...
Have you guys announced the next one?
What's that? Not yet. We're hoping for February. February and then one in April. So we're going to try to get a few locked in before. We got to get them done before the summer. Because no one really does tournaments in the summer. We want to be outside on the beach or riding bikes or playing baseball or miniature golf. Miniature golf? How did you come up with that one? But people are out doing things outside and
You play baseball, Dan?
no. Nope.
That's a weird one to throw out, even though you don't do it.
Nope.
I like running outside, though.
I do. It's very nice to run outside. So ring the bell. You're watching that right now live on Insane Games TV. If you miss any of our episode now, or if you're just checking in with us now, you can catch our full episode on YouTube, episode 5. First episode and stream on the network for 2020. We got a lot to come.
Starting it off right. Starting it off tight with the two best. Dan's all right.
I'll take all right. Out of all the mean things he says, I'll take that's technically a compliment that Dan's all right out of Tyler. The No Look podcast.
It's a new year. I can't start the new year with just destroying you and killing your ego. I have to break it down over time.
Oh, I hear you. The No Look podcast is not tonight. It's going to be rescheduled for tomorrow. Join Tyler.
Special guest.
Tyler, Austin, AC Weezy, ha ha ha, and special guest. Is she coming? Why?
Can you do that one more time? Just do that one more time.
What does he call himself? Yo Soy, Austin, AC Weezy, ha ha ha. And it's your man, goddamn Tyler Hayes will be on the No Look podcast tomorrow.
Oh my god. That second ha wasn't as funny, but
because you can't ask. It's not funny when you know it's coming. It's not that funny. And special guest Hannah Cook on tomorrow. So those three will be here. Those three will be here causing trouble on the set.
Horse Girl 1, 2, 3.
Be on the set for tomorrow. Very special episode of the Weekend Wednesday coming up tonight. DN 314 special celebration. Steve and Dave and some other special guests are going to be doing Bean Boozle, right?
Yeah, we're going to each be downing a little box of Bean Boozle beans, playing Overwatch on screen.
That sounds disgusting, Steve, but I'm going to enjoy watching it and watching your faces.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And then they're all going to be playing some Overwatch here tonight, so that's up later tonight on the channel. The Weekend Wednesday.
Is there going to be a special show premiering next Wednesday?
We got a couple shows premiering next week Wednesday. What show are you looking for? We got Retro Monday.
I don't know. You tell me.
We got Retro Monday with our boy Mike over here. Saw, dude. Saw, dude. Is that what you just said?
All right, stop.
What?
You're killing it.
I have my moments. I don't know if the Dream Team's launching next week. It's like one of those battles where I don't know what Mike's ready to go.
The Dream Team's going through some serious strife right now. They're hardly a team.
Why is that, Mike?
Let alone a Dream Team.
Come on, set for a minute. There was some drama that went on at the tournament about how Mike and Tom got kicked out of it so quickly. It was a bloodbath, Tyler. Insane Games TV goes in with a reputation on all of our Call of Duty. All of our Call of Duty tournaments. Insane Games. I put together a team that I think is going to represent us well in the tournament. It was a slaughter. If I may say, it was a fucking slaughter at the tournament. It was just like...
I saw it, Dan. I was tuned in. I was
Thank
watching
you for
Twitch,
coming.
It was actually appalling how bad they played and represented Insane Games as a whole.
I
But,
mean,
you
I'm
know,
gonna have
I
to.
did fine. Tommy stabbed me in the back.
Oh, see, Mike, we're leaving blaming people back in 2019. Okay.
No, this
Last
is
time I
first
checked,
year
it was
blaming Tom.
a 2v2. So there was 2 people on the team, not 1, 2.
Well, to be fair,
Oh,
this
I don't want to get fired up with Tommy again.
this mode does require 2 people. And I wasn't particularly watching it, but at the end of the day, did you even win 1 round?
We won a couple rounds.
Okay, they won a couple rounds.
We didn't get
Couple,
shut
that
out.
means
we only
2.
got shut out once, and that last one was bad.
Didn't you win by default in the first round and then lose the second?
We did scare one team out of the tournament before they could even.
Steve coming in with the
We scared them. They didn't want to play us in the first round. That's what happened.
Steve. No.
That is, Tommy had
Mike's
no
gonna throw an
heart,
M&M
and
at
he
Steve's
didn't
head
want
after
to.
the broadcast.
Oh,
You son of a bitch.
But Steve's doing exactly what Steve needs to do. He's the production guy in the background that throws the zingers, and he throws out the real life thing
He's
that really
the
did
fact
happen.
check guy. He's the guy that keeps you, make sure that
Exactly.
you understand the facts.
And
you
he's,
know?
and he's a
No
big Jeff
slanders
Gordon
going on.
fan. So him being a Jeff Gordon fan, he can come and go as he pleases. He's part of the Jeff Gordon.
Jeff Gordon out of all the people.
Yeah. What of it?
But yes, there's some. Whoa!
Wow. I'm not even gonna. We're not gonna continue this conversation.
But we got so we'll see what happens with the Insane Games team for the next tournament. There's gonna have to be some serious bonding. Mike and Tom are gonna have to.
I think they just need to disassemble as a whole. Just don't
They-
even put those 2 together. We need to find some ringers for the Insane Games team because we got to represent.
They got taken
You
to the
can't just
woodshed.
be having guys getting out of taken to the woodshed
They got
first
taken
round.
to-
Like that's
they got-
unacceptable.
They got taken to the woodshed and was slaughtered. It was-
When Dan came on the commentary and said that they got taken to the woodshed, I literally laughed out loud. I was like, he did not just say that.
It was great. All right, so we got
Old Yeller over there.
we're running out of time here. We got so let's go over some of the best stories. Well, I really just each of us can think of the best story for 2019. And when I texted you earlier and I said, let's come up with something each of us for 2019. What I meant is one story that really got us excited, or one thing that really got us like, oh wow, this is great for the year. And I'll start. Mine was the Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff announcement. I was extremely excited when I heard that.
Although Eric Bischoff's no longer with them.
It is, and I'm actually kind of disappointed with that. But I thought maybe he just wasn't in with the times, or there's backstage drama, whatever the case may be. But at least they still got Paul Heyman on there, and I thought that was an excellent storyline and some news, and I was excited. I was doing so much research that week when finding out what the roles are going to be, what they're going to do. And obviously they did it to counteract the AEW formation and everything, but all in all, I thought that was a great storyline and probably my favorite item of 2019 for WWE. What do you got?
I have 2 that come to mind. I'm gonna go with one, and you're gonna definitely say that I am biased on this one.
Oh boy.
But my favorite thing was when I was also very excited when Matt Hardy won the rights to the Broken Universe over Impact. I thought that was going to be huge for a lot of stories that he was going to do, and then they just kind of shut the door on it and buried it. So
Classic WWE.
my other one would probably be when Roman Reigns beat leukemia. That was big because everybody was scared that he wasn't going to make it, and especially a star like him, that wouldn't have been good. But yeah, I those 2 definitely come to mind when I think of 2019. So.
I mean, obviously, his health is, on a personal note, his health is very serious, and I'm glad he worked, he got through that. But to think on a business scale, the magnitude. Could you imagine where WWE would be right now if they didn't have John Cena or Roman Reigns, or that's some serious image problems that
Right.
And I know we talked. He hasn't really been in the picture this year, but WWE kind of, I mean, obviously his health is number one, but, they dodge one with him being able to come back and be a quick recovery and be able to come back. And they say, getting leukemia for the second time is not always as great as having it the first time.
Right.
Kudos to him coming back, and I think we're all glad, despite whether you like him or don't like him, and I think everyone respects him, they just don't like, now WWE jams him down everyone's throat. Today marks the 1-year anniversary of Cody Rhodes announcing the formation of AEW. Obviously now that we've been, we had to build up from January to October with them, the different wrestlers, obviously they announced the Young Bucks and Chris Jericho and Sean Spears, who was the Ty Dillinger before. So they, they obviously announced a lot of new characters and stuff, and Moxley coming on board. John Moxley, obviously, of WWE before. Moxley. But, why don't we start with you? Because I think you're more of the AEW fan than I am. I mean, I respect what they're doing. I think what they're doing is definitely helped the industry. But what would you rate their first? I mean, obviously they've only been in operation now for 3 months, starting in October. So how would you rate their first 3 months overall? How do you think the first year is closed up for them?
I would say they've exceeded expectations for sure. They're in an industry where you need a lot of money and backing and a lot of brain power to really be different than what's already out there. I feel like they've definitely exceeded expectations because there was a lot of times where a lot of shit could have hit the fan and, they could have folded really quick, Right. But I think they're doing a really good job and they're actually putting out a really good product. So with that being said, I would give them probably like a B plus with how they're doing, and I'm very excited to see where they're going to go. I just think that they offer a different product, and I've said this in weeks past. I think they just offer a different product than WWE. So I think that's what differentiates them from that in the wrestling industry. So I'm very excited to see who they bring, in the new year, what storylines they have, who finally takes the belt from Le Champion.
Champion. Yeah, I was telling Tyler, not to get off subject, but I was telling Tyler during the week that I tried to get the wine or the little taste of the bubbly so we could try to get some here on the podcast for the New Year's Eve, but sold out. Not only is it sold out, they wanted me to buy 2 bottles. I'm like, get the F out of town. I just want 1 bottle. I don't need 2. But, that's how they get more money out of it. But either way, I'm going to be a little bit more critical. I'm going to go, I thought publicity-wise, I think they had a good run from January to October, getting the hype up. And I think they kind of exceeded the hype the first couple of weeks. Could they use maybe 1 or 2 bigger names? Maybe. But I also like the fact that they're building the brand without taking everyone from WWE. So I do like that. As I said before, I hate how they're always critiquing themselves with WWE. But the only thing that makes me drop from the B's to the C's is that their ratings have been on a decline. And they've been on a steady decline for the last couple weeks, to the fact where NXT was beating them. That kind of concerns me. And I think they're kind of moving into a stale a little bit. Let's see how they face adversity. Because, do they have an owner that has money? Yes. Do I think the company is going away in the next year? No. But the fact is, and you know this, what makes or breaks a company is facing that first hype of adversity. And they've lost ratings. NXT is head-to-head with them now, if not beating them the last couple weeks. Where do you go from that? Do you go into crisis mode now? Are they going to get desperate? And sometimes you get into desperate mode, it makes it even worse. So the question to me is, where are they going to go now as trying to lift their ratings back up over NXT? Because I'm sorry, you don't want to root against a very determined and steady Triple H. When he has NXT going the way it's going, NXT is throwing out some great quality product right now. And I thought that may go away after the whole Survival Series angle, where a lot of the main guys from Raw and SmackDown were going to go back to their shows. But I think you and I both can agree, it hasn't dropped. I mean, their ratings have not dropped since all those star wrestlers left and went back to their respective shows. So what is AEW going to do here in 2020? I think the first 3 months are going to show. I mean, do they get down into really desperate times? Or what happens when they drop a couple more hundreds of thousands of views and NXT is beating them? And they can walk around as long as they want and say, we're not concerned by NXT, which is what they're saying now, but I mean, at what point are you not concerned? I mean,
Right.
when you drop below 1 million, I would be concerned. I don't know. And what are they going to do? Do you think they change nights? Do you think they go, we're gonna leave Wednesday and go to a different night to avoid NXT?
I don't think you can. I just don't think you can.
Your
I
only
think
other night is
if they change nights, then that's gonna show that they're
you're conceding.
scared.
Yeah, you're saying NXT, we can't beat them, we're leaving. So I go back and say, congrats to WWE. First off, I love AEW. I love the reason why they came out. I think it's only made the WWE product better. But kudos
Right.
to WWE with NXT. Great move making it on a Wednesday night. Great move by USA Network for picking it up for 2 hours. Okay, great. Triple H has done great. Great for Finn Balor. Great for Shawn Michaels. I think all those people involved are putting on a great program. And I'm going to get in. What is that? And I'm going to jump in. I've been reading about the group, but I forget their name now. What's the group that has all of the...
the Undisputed Era.
Yes, I think that's great, and I'm been watching some of their clips. I'm trying to get familiar with them because I'm behind the 8 ball with NXT. I gotta
Adam
try to get
Cole,
caught up.
baby.
He was just up here, by the way, Colony Center, doing autograph signings not too long ago, a couple days ago.
Should have went.
I should have, but
Got your belt signed.
busy man, busy schedule. Oh, shut up. Expectations. We'll close out the program. Expectations for 2020. What are you looking for? Raw, SmackDown, WWE, NXT, AEW. What do you got?
Raw, SmackDown, pick up your shit. NXT, keep on keeping on. I kind of hope that they switch it up and kind of go more towards like the Attitude Era. I mean, not exactly like the Attitude Era, but where they kind of switch it to PG-13. A little bit more language, a little bit more action. I think they need to get away from the PG era. I think it's time.
I think it's time.
They have a lot of great talent that can do, the risque stuff, I guess you could say. So I think they need to get back to it. And I think Fox is pushing more towards that. And I think that's why they went with them. I think they can do that on Mondays and Wednesdays and Friday nights. So that's like my biggest thing that I want to see. AEW, I would love to see them add a few more big stars.
Who would you want to see for 2020? If there's one star you want to see at AEW that realistically could go over there, who would it be?
It just blows my mind.
I mean, off the top of my head, Matt Hardy. I would love to see that.
Do you think it's a possibility?
I think it is, and I really want to see him do because he's been posting a lot of content while not being on TV. I think he should go over there. Now, that's just me being a Hardy stan, but like, out of all the people that I think realistically could go to AEW, I think he's one of them just because of his love for the business. And I don't think he's done wrestling yet. I mean, I think he has a little bit left in the tank, but he has so much content that he can provide. And, maybe put AEW on the map. They could add guys like that, But, I mean, I don't want them to add guys that are also old. I want them to add guys that are going to make
I don't think they want to do that.
The company interesting.
For 2020, I love the Wednesday Night War. I'll be honest, I haven't really got into it much. I've been trying to keep up with SmackDown and Raw, and I've been slow getting into the Monday or the Wednesday Night Wars. But I like what I'm seeing on NXT. I like that group. I like the title holders over there. I like the Chris Jericho segments. I'm really my expectations. At the end of the year, I think we should see NXT and AEW ratings be up where SmackDown and Raw are collectively.
I agree.
I think that people are going to become more and more interested, and I think more and more viewers are just going to go over and watch them. So, my expectation is to see some better ratings on the Wednesday nights between both programs. And I like to see some better quality title holders, and I like to see some development, outside of Brock Lesnar and outside of the typical typical title holders, and I want to see a Kofi Kingston story over again. Not with Kofi Kingston, but I want to see someone out of the blue win the title and have the title for a while. I think it's great. I think
Samoa Joe.
I think Samoa Joe. If there's anyone who's deserving of having a title reign, even if it's for a month, it's Samoa Joe. That's my opinion. That's my expectation for 2020.
And my expectation is the WrestleMania that we're going to in April to be the best WrestleMania ever known to man. Just because it's almost on my birthday, so I think I deserve that for my 25th birthday. I'm just saying.
There you go. I don't have to come down with a gift, do I, for you or no?
No.
Am I supposed to?
I would say WrestleMania tickets is enough.
Well, I didn't really. I didn't really buy
You can
them.
pretend.
Yeah, so that's our expectations for 2020. I'm going to put you on the spot, not now, but for next week. I want what's come up with you and I want to think of one wrestler that's with WWE now that we think is going to be with AEW at the end of the year. We're going to save it for next week. We're going to make you hang over and come back next week to hear what we think. But one wrestler that's with WWE right now.
Well, everybody has today.
Exactly. One wrestler that's with WWE now that we think at the end of the year is going to be with AEW. So we got to do some research because some wrestlers aren't eligible with contract agreements. So we got to do some research. I'll let you do yours, and we won't tell each other who it is, and then we'll see if we come up with the same or where we are on next week's episode. So we're going to close out here, episode 5, Ring the Bell. A lot of stuff we talked about. First episode of 2020. First streaming podcast on the channel here for 2020. No Look podcast is tomorrow night with your boy Soy. I said it wrong. I got him wrong.
Your boy Yo Soy, AC Weezy, and your man goddamn T Hizzle Hayes. Special guest Hannah, Austin's sister, Barstool Advisors, Weather Girl. I don't know what else I could call her, but we're gonna be super excited. Go over NFL, our picks for last week, the playoffs, Black Monday, coach firings. I told you that. And whatever comes to our mind. So join us at 6 o'clock tomorrow. Sharp.
So that's the No Look podcast. That'll be tomorrow right here on Insane Games TV. If you missed any of this episode, you can watch full episodes right on our YouTube channel. Click right on our Twitch page. It'll take you right there at Insane Games TV. Also make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and make sure if you're watching you haven't followed, follow us right here on Twitch to watch all of our live content, Insane Games TV. The weekend Wednesday is going to be up a little after us. Special episode with Dave Mann, celebration 200 followers for DAM314. So make sure you tune in to see him.
How many?
200, the big 200.
Damn.
So he had 200 followers, so he's doing a big bean boozle. We're going to get to be able to watch Steve and Dave's face in disgust. I'll be laughing, but their faces will be in disgust, eating the jelly beans. And they'll be playing Overwatch right here on the set. So that's up next, later tonight, weekend Wednesday. Anything you got before we close out?
Drop dead.
Okay, see you guys later, and thanks for watching. Ring the Bell, episode 5. We're out.